meet between the two.
Tree.
Here, I'll just show you. I'll film you. Hi, Gene. Say hi to camera.
Hello, camera. My name is Geen. That's it. That's all I have. Good morning. Good Good.
This looks so good.
Hi, I hope you enjoyed that opening clip. I promise I'm an adult. Sometimes. Yeah. Anyways, the reason you probably clicked on this video was because in the title you saw that I'm comparing 35mm film along with medium format film, and that's what I want to show you. I want to show you photos that I took on my Leica M6 and my Mamiya 7 in Yosemite very recently. But before I even do that, I want to provide context for why I was in Yosemite and how I ended up out there. The reason why I was out there was because a wedding couple of mine that booked me over a couple of years ago had a wedding out in Oregon. So I know that's not Yosemite, but I'll explain. And they booked both photo and videos. So along with myself, I brought Eric, Steven, and Braxton to help me shoot both photo and video. So we made our way out west. We flew into Portland, and the wedding took place about an hour east of the city. So right when we landed, spent some time in Portland by getting food, some coffee, snacks, always snacks. And then we drove east to our Airbnb, which wasn't very far from the town where the wedding kind of reception and festivities were taking place. When we checked into the Airbnb, I purposely chose a place that was kind of further out from the town, and it was surrounded by honestly like mountains and beautiful scenery. And that was a lot of fun because I think it just gave us time to slow down and rest for a little bit, catch up on work, go for walks, go shoot film, go for runs. We settled in and the wedding took place the next day. There was a problem though with the wedding day of, in that, as I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with Oregon being a part of the PNW, it's not only overcast a lot, but it also rains quite a bit there. And that was no different for my couple's wedding celebration day. And so we were tracking the weather constantly the day before, day of, and it just kept looking like it was gonna rain during the ceremony time, which was a bummer. But day of, we got all of our stuff ready. We got food, got coffee, headed out to the venue where we were gonna start. And thankfully, when we started and as the coverage was going through the wedding celebration and the ceremony came around, beyond a couple little sprinkles, the weather was incredible. And the backdrop was amazing. The couple was amazing. Guests were so much fun. And we ended up taking so many wonderful, great photos and getting awesome footage of the couple's celebration. And although the weather was a concern, it ultimately ended up being nothing at all. We even got a rainbow, which was really cool. I guess that's a perk of having that type of weather around. Crushed the wedding. Everyone did amazing. But as soon as we were done, we booked it back to our Airbnb because we had to pack our gear. We had to pack all of our belongings because the next morning we had a very early flight to San Francisco. So we went to bed, woke up early, made it to the airport, flew down to San Francisco. And as soon as we got there, we didn't really spend that much time there. We got, again, some food and coffee. But as soon as we got those things, we made our way straight east to Yosemite. And along the way, we stopped for grocery because the Airbnb that we were gonna stay at was actually in the park, not too far from the valley. And we opted to buy grocery ahead of time so that once we got into the park, we wouldn't come out until we were actually coming back home. And the reason why we went to Yosemite was because this same wedding couple, their original celebration was going to take place in Yosemite, but because of certain circumstances, it ended up being out in Oregon. But they still booked a portrait session to take place in Yosemite that following Monday. So that's why we went to Yosemite ahead of them, checked into our Airbnb, and Yosemite was just as beautiful as when I saw it last year. And last year I saw it in the fall, so for me to see it in the summer was really cool, just to see how the light's different. And even just like the temperature was very different as well. That's ultimately why we were in Yosemite, why myself, Eric, Steven, and Braxton were in Yosemite, because we photographed and filmed the wedding in Oregon, and then we did a portrait session for that same couple in Yosemite. So that's just the context as to why we were there. Now that I've explained that, I want to show you guys, like I mentioned earlier in the video, and probably why you clicked on this video, film photos that I took on 35mm on my Leica M6 with a 28mm focal length lens. Yeah. Along with medium format film photos on a Mamiya 7 with an 80mm lens. So I just wanted to at least share the gear that I used and show you the photos that I took. And I think that's it. I just want to show you those film photos now. You're going to see a blend of the footage that we took out there, the film photos that I took, and I hope that you enjoy maybe seeing the difference or no difference between 35mm and medium format film. And yeah.
Hi boys, you ready to shoot some large format? Yeah, baby.
All right, I hope you enjoyed those photos. Maybe you were able to tell the difference between 35mm and medium format film, or maybe not. I think they're both just beautiful mediums, and both have strengths and I think weaknesses, whether it's cost or gear associated with those film types. But hope you enjoyed those photos. I love making videos on and about film photography, so I will definitely make more. And as usual, would always appreciate a like and subscribe. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.